Hello, Dr. Yeager. This is Huebner Onion Park, and this is the place that I'm doing my geology in my backyard project. So right here, the very first example of weathering is mechanical weathering. Right here in this little area, you can see that there's this sort of pattern of rocks, and you could see that because like how it looks like here, you could just see like a little pattern that goes all the way up there, and this would be classified as mechanical weathering because it's the process of these bigger rocks breaking down into these smaller rocks. And as we go through this giant ephemeral stream, which is a stream that only forms when it rains, we're going to be seeing a bunch of that and other mechanical weathering and other weathering processes. Now, right here, this is a clear-cut case of biological weathering, which is when plant life or animal life comes in contact with rocks and makes them break down and weather. Right here, you can actually see that's like really deep inside. And honestly, if this were to become a waterfall, this right here, like this edge along here, this would be classified as a nick point. And if water were to continue to fall down here, this little area that's all the way hidden in the back, that would continue to get pushed back. Like, it's kind of hard to see with all these roots, but the more water that would come down here, it would get pushed back. Now, last time I was here, I didn't have the right shoes on. I've got the right shoes on today. Got my hiking shoes on, so this should be fun. But yeah, this is a nice little area. First time I came down here, it was pretty long. I had to stop because it was just water. Then I could not cross that. I was not getting my shoes or my pants wet. So again, here's another example of mechanical weathering, as you can see right here. And here's a better example of when I was talking about the nick point. You can see it a lot better here. But as you can see down there, the top is more outward than this. This one, it's more like pushed back kind of. Very nice out today. And right here, I was actually gonna go further down, but it's right here. This is an example of chemical weathering. Now, what happens with this is when it rains or if there's carbonic acid in the water, it's going to fall down onto the limestone, and then it's going to create these small little holes that some bugs are probably living in right now. And there's actually a bigger, better example of this. I'll go up this way. All right, so right here, this was the better example I was talking about when it comes to chemical weathering. You could even see it a lot more here. It's just these giant sized holes in this smooth stone. And just in case you couldn't tell that there used to be water above this, you could see how smooth this stone is. Not many jagged edges. It's just smooth. More examples. Mechanical weathering here. I'll go this way. Here's another example of bio-weathering. See all the roots going right through there, especially down here. Ignore the tadpoles, but you can see if I zoom in, these roots are just growing inside of this rock formation and in the soil, breaking that apart down here. The first time I came over here, I was kind of shocked at how easy all of these processes were, because it was just right here, all in one. And here's another example of mechanical and bio weathering. You can see this little strip and pattern that goes along here, of course with the grass that's growing in it. Right here is a small example of rockfall, which is a form of mass wasting. I know it's not big or huge as other places, but it still counts. And again, we've got some grass and some plants growing out of here. There's some vultures up here stalking me. And again, it's mostly mechanical and bio weathering over here. Lots of examples of bio weathering. Especially right here, there's actually this giant tree root coming out of right here. And in a few moments, I'm going to talk about another ephemeral stream and the sediments and the alluvium that's inside. Right here, we have another example of rockfall. Again, it's not great or big, but it still counts. Right here, and then more so over here. Due to gravity, because of the wind and the chemical and the biotic weathering, it's weathering away, and because of gravity it causes it to fall, which then turns into rockfall, which is another form of mass wasting. Wanted to show you guys real quick this little section right here. This is a great example of mechanical, bio, and chemical weathering. So right here you've got this tree root that's going inside of here and down, further down into the rocks. That's the one form of bio weathering. For the chemical weathering, you could see these massive holes, and right here almost looks like something dug a hole into it and burrowed it. But no, that is the carbonic acid forming that. And then there's just this formation right here of these smaller rocks just breaking down. That's the form of mechanical weathering. So right now what you're looking at is the ephemeral stream I was talking about. So right here, this is a bunch of alluvium, and what that is sediments that are carried by that stream. Now if it's going really slow, then it's just going to carry like these small pebbles that you see over here. But if it's going really, really fast, that's going to cause traction, which is going to bring these big boys, these big rocks right here, that's going to make them topple over. Now when it comes to the smaller rocks, that's called saltation, and what they do is they just bounce over as the stream goes by, just flowing down. And we can go down further. Almost fell, but it's all good. You can see all these rocks that are carried down, and I think this is where I had left off earlier, last time I came here. Yeah, because right there, it's just nothing but water. It's not just water, it's mossy water. And I'm not getting into that. But yeah, this is my project. It was really nice out here, coming out here. There's a bunch of deer, there's lots of wildlife. There's one dead deer, I don't know if I mentioned that, but there was one being eaten that I saw that I didn't show. That was being eaten by the vultures, so that was nice. But yeah, this is my geology in my backyard project, and I will see you probably next semester. Yeah, so peace.